Well, let's start with South Carolina and Chad Connelly, chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party. Dick Harpootlian is the chairman of the South Carolina Democratic Party. Gentlemen, welcome back. And Chad, let me start with you. I guess, 17 days to go. Mitt Romney flooding the airwaves. Newt Gingrich is refining his message for South Carolina. But here's my question. Given last night, can Rick Santorum get an organization together in South Carolina in time to do something?
Hey, Chris, good morning, and thanks for having me. You know, I think people are going to be surprised because Senator Santorum's got a good ground game here. He's got some talented people who are already on board, and they've been working the ground game hard. And in South Carolina, our Republican primary voters sure expect to see him on the ground here. Well,
do you think that Santorum needs Romney to make a mistake to really have a good chance, Dick?
I don't think so. I would agree with Chad. We've seen Rick Santorum here time and time again over the last several months. I think it's important to understand, and you look at the numbers last night, the New York Times did some sort of exit polling. The conservative Republicans went with Santorum. The evangelical Republicans went with Santorum. And Mitt Romney came into Iowa with 25%, came out with 25%, got less votes this time than he did 4 years ago. And the most exciting thing for Democrats is only 122,000 Republicans voted yesterday, or went to the caucus yesterday. That's half of what turned out for Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton in the race in 2008. So there's a tepid effort on the part of the Republicans, and Rick Santorum surging. So, you know, and this state is going to boil down to that dichotomy in the Republican Party between the Tea Partiers and the conservative right-wing nuts and the mainstream folks. You know, the Republican Party is becoming the almond joy party. Some days they feel like a nut. Some days they don't. And that's what's going to happen here.
It's a good line. I'll grant you that. But let me ask you this, Chad, because, look, it wasn't that long ago that a lot of people thought Rick Perry was the one to beat in South Carolina. Looks like he's gone from this race. He's officially reassessing. Where does his support go? Where does Michelle Bachmann's support go?
Well, I don't want to take the place of anybody's strategist, but certainly there are a lot of decisions that have to be made after a state like Iowa votes. It's kind of a culling out state, and they move on to New Hampshire. But here's the bottom line, is this race will be decided in South Carolina. History shows us that this is the state that's the firewall or the bulwark or whatever those candidates want to call it. This is the place where it's the best cross-section of Republican primary voters in the nation. It's why we're one of the carve-out states, and it's clearly a place where candidates and the media and the nation know to look to. And we have a great blend of the social, the fiscal, and the military conservatives. And let's face it, those are common sense conservative values that all of America is attracted to.
Dick, South Carolina has picked all the winners since 1980. Does Mitt Romney have to win there, even if he wins, obviously, already Iowa and then New Hampshire?
I think Mitt Romney's got to win here, and I think he is. You know, he's got our Governor Nikki Haley campaigning, Republican Governor Nikki Haley campaigning for him here, and she's going to New Hampshire. This is sort of an interesting issue because Santorum has been spending so much time in the upstate where the Christian conservative evangelicals are. Mitt Romney, a Mormon with a Indian Sikh, born Sikh, converted to Christianity, campaigning with him. I think that's going to provide a very interesting mix in South Carolina on the Republican side. I think Mitt's got to win here, and I think by no means is he assured of winning here.
All right, Dick Harpootlian, Chad Connelly. Gentlemen, it could be very interesting, more interesting than we thought. Take a look at this. Primary calendar, big contest after South Carolina is Florida. More people have requested absentee ballots there than all the voters in Iowa and New Hampshire combined. Lenny Curry is the GOP chairman in Florida.